Welcome back to another episode of Low Res with Jess. Joining me today is Brandon Woelfel. He is a freelance portrait photographer based in Brooklyn, New York. Brandon began his pursuit of photography as a college student studying computer art. Inspired by popular Instagram photographers, after graduating, Brandon perfected his own signature style, going on to work with clients including BuzzFeed, Apple, Nikon, and Urban Outfitters. Good morning, Brandon. How you doing? How's it going?
What's up? Thank you for the intro. That was good.
I messed it up like 20 times, you guys. I said born in Long Island and born in Brooklyn, and Brandon's like, I don't think that's right.
I'm like, I don't remember being born here, but it's fine. No, you got it. You did a good job.
Because recently you moved, so you're no longer living on Long Island. You live in Brooklyn now.
Correct. I'm in my new apartment. I mean, I moved in a few months ago, but I still say I'm just moved here. But it's been nice. I've been trying to just like set up my space and kind of make it also a photo studio too. So that's what I've been doing during quarantine, basically, is just furnishing an apartment. That's been like my little project.
How's the studio been? Have you like sectioned off a part of your apartment that's strictly photography, or is it everywhere?
It's like everywhere. Even just like wherever I am in a space, I just like to make every corner kind of like its own little section, like for any photos. Like I just want every little spot and crevice to be like photo ready. But it's also like I'm trying to also make it livable, like I don't want to feel like I'm living in a photo studio, although that's kind of what it happened.
Literally all of us.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like as photographers, it's just like natural to transform your space into like something you want to take photos in, because I mean, I don't know, that may just be for me, but I love to just like make my room also like a spot I could take photos in.
I see the lights behind you too, and is that plant real, by the way?
No,
unfortunately, I can't do real plants. I want to, but they die.
I know, I feel you. I don't have any real plants right now.
I don't want to be a plant killer, so
yeah, it's like they're your children. Like you have to take care of them, and I just can't. I don't have that responsibility right now.
I got 2 cats. That's all I can do right now. The plants, do they eat the plants, Mike? They're like digging up the plants.
Exactly. It's scary, especially with animals. I mean, I don't have any animals right now, but that's scary.
So how have the photo shoots been at your place? Has it been what you expected it to be?
Yeah, I've had a few here. It's funny because I was, like you said, based on Long Island previously. And so I would come into the city a ton for my shoots, but I never had like a actual place to like have them. I would rent out spaces here and there, but a lot of the time I would just walk around like with a model. Even for our video shoots, we would just be out in the streets, just like shooting and hope for the best. And so it's been so nice to have like just models meet here. I mean, I've only had like a few shoots, but it's just been so nice to just be like in a warm place where I know that I can take photos. Cause I just know that like I would try and like sneak into spots or like try and make something out of nothing out in the city. Although there's really cool spots, it's like you never know what you're going to come across when you're just walking around. I always would just hope for the best. And now I feel like way more in control of like my space for sure.
That's the best feeling ever, knowing you can show up somewhere to a photo shoot and you're not going to get kicked out. You're not going to get yelled at.
Yeah.
People are not going to try to interrupt or take pictures or do anything. That's like the most comforting, best feeling for a photographer.
Exactly. But I do have a story for you because I texted Jessica this last night and I was like, something just happened. I had a photo shoot last night in my space here and something went really wrong.
What happened?
I feel like we talk about like photo shoot horror stories here and there. I feel like we both have a few, but this was definitely like this like tops all of mine. And
whoa, okay. Whoa, listen. I mean, if you're telling me this is like number one,
it's up there for sure. And I don't know about you, but whenever I go into a shoot, I kind of just feel like it's gonna go wrong in my head. Like I'm just like, I'm not gonna vibe with the model. We're gonna get terrible photos. Like I just go into it, just like psyching myself out. And then when I come out with at the end of the shoot, I'm like, wait, that went surprisingly well. And then I'm happy because it went fine. And so that was happening to me again before this shoot. And something did go wrong. So we were like taking photos. It was a great time. We were shooting around my space here, and we went up to my building's roof because you could see like the skyline from there. It's really cool. Because I'm in Brooklyn, you can see like all of the bridges. You could see the Empire State Building and then down to the financial district. And it was really cold though, so we only stayed up there for like 15 minutes. And on our way down, we get in the elevator and we just go to my floor. And as it's going down, it shakes and we stop completely. And we're literally stuck in the elevator. And I'm like, I'm with, so I'm with the model, and I've never met her. She was awesome. Like she was a great time. So I'm glad we were like in this elevator. Like it was fine.
It was just you and her?
So we were also like with her team because she was we were doing like a behind the scenes video for her channel, and so we were with like her two team members, and we're just stuck in the elevator, and we're just like, what's going on? Like we're not moving. And so I don't, have you ever been stuck in an elevator?
I'll tell you my story after yours, but yes, I
Okay.
have.
Oh my god. And so we're trying to press like the help button because there's like it's like ring for assistance. So we start ringing it, and there's like a lady, she's like, hello. And we're like, hello. Like this feels like a Black Mirror episode. We're just like, she's like, are you okay? And we're like, I think. And she's like, okay, please tell me where you are. And then hangs up. And we're like, is someone coming? Like, what's going on? And so we rang it again. It's like a different lady, and she's like, hello, are you okay? And we're like, yeah. We told her the address, and she hung up again. And then we did a third time, and the same thing happened, and we just assumed no one was coming. And then I texted my like building manager and was like, I'm stuck in the elevator. And he just didn't answer.
What? They got other things to do. They're like, let him, it's okay, it's
Apparently.
fine, he'll be fine.
Apparently. And then so she called 911, and they connected us to like the fire department. She was like, the fire department's on their way. And then we hung up and we were like, the fire department's literally. So we're sitting in there, and all of a sudden we hear the sirens, and we're like, there's a whole fire truck coming for us right now.
They're coming with the stretcher, everything.
Mid photo
all the
shoot.
EMTs.
I have my camera in my backpack. We're like, should we just take photos in the elevator right now? Elevator photo challenge. And we hear the firemen like trying to get us out. Like they're like, you could hear them like above us, like just making small talk. And we're just like, and they're like, are you guys good? And we're like, we're good. I have to show you one of the photos, but
yeah, we'll put it up here on the screen.
The door. Yeah. They ended up opening the door, and you could see like we were stuck in between two floors. So this is what I was looking at. There's firemen on
no.
this floor and this floor. Yeah, and we were stuck in there. And then we're just
how did you
halfway, I don't know.
So for those listening, he's showing me a photo where it's his perspective looking out at the firefighters, and you can see, like, imagine a bar in the middle of this door, and then two, like, you can see from the outside of the top and the bottom. So there's like two glass pieces where you can see, but in the middle, it's just like a block, and you can't see.
Yeah, because we were stuck between the 11th floor and the 10th floor. So you could see just like the existence that was between the two. And there's firemen on either one trying to figure out how to get us like out of this like little sliver of space that there is.
You can't, and by the way, the spaces is so like, it doesn't even look like you can kind of get through there.
Get through it,
it's like barely.
Yeah, and so they decided to go. They had us like jump from the top one down to like, or I guess that was like the 10th floor. So we had to like, they basically like took us all our limbs and like and like floated us down to like ground level. So each of us had to like sliver through that space and like jump down. Yeah, it was.
Okay, wow. How
And
long did this
then
take?
we were actually, it sounds like a whole thing, but we were actually only in there for maybe like a half hour.
Oh, they
Yeah,
came quick.
they came, we called, they were there in 5 minutes. It was actually wild. I was like, I feel like they might have better things to do than help a photographer and a model out of an elevator, but they came and they made it happen.
What did you tell the lady on like the when you press the help button where you're like, hey, we were just doing a photo shoot upstairs. She's like, click for those
She's like,
photographers.
no. Yeah. She knows we get ourselves into problems and they don't want to help.
It's like a different person each time. Is it like a like a center probably?
I yeah, I think so. But we were like psyching ourselves out in there. We were like, are we just gonna be stuck in here forever? They had like a reservation to get to. I was like, so our photo shoot got cut short, but we had a fine time in there. We bonded over it and it ended up being okay. Um, but I've never like had something that wild like happen on a shoot with someone I've never met, which I mean is just like in its own thing. But
I mean, I'm glad you guys made it out safely, first of all,
yeah.
because elevators, but that is so scary because it's like a confined space and it's dark. Like, I'm glad that you guys had it was at least glass where you guys can see outside of it.
Oh no, we couldn't. That
How?
was after
Oh.
they opened the door.
So it
Yeah.
was like all dark.
Yeah. They
Okay.
because they also turned they also turned off the power at one point, so it was just completely black in the
Oh,
elevator.
okay.
Yeah.
That's great. I'll just
Yeah.
take the stairs. It's healthier that way
Yeah.
too, right?
I
If
will be
you're,
taking the stairs from now on.
you asked me about my experience with elevators. I was actually stuck in an elevator in the Middle East, and I will never forget this because it was pretty, pretty traumatizing for the most part. I think I was like 10 years old, and my mom was making chicken nuggets and she needed ketchup. We wanted to eat it with ketchup. Like I love eating ketchup with chicken nuggets. So
Absolutely.
I don't know, it was like me and my sibling, we went down to get, and I think we were living on like the seventh or eighth floor uh, in an apartment building. And we went down to get the ketchup. We got it. Everything's good. We're going back up and we get stuck on one of the floors. And the thing is, if I remember correctly, there's no door on the elevator. Like it doesn't, like when you're going up the elevator, you know how you like in normal elevators they have a door, like there's two doors that close in while you're going up.
Oh
In the
yeah, I
Middle
know what
East
you're
it's not like that. You can actually see the walls that you're passing. You can touch the walls that you're passing
Oh,
as you're going up, and you can see like the floor, like it's like open.
got
So
it.
basically, you know how like the firefighters were trying to open the door and like expose the whatever? Like for us, it
Yeah.
was already exposed. So I'm
Right.
sitting there, and the thing is, like, it was dark, like everything just shut down. Because the thing is, in the Middle East, the electricity, well, at least in Lebanon, the electricity would go out every 6 hours. So you would switch electricity. So like when I was in Lebanon visiting my aunts, like I learned the timetables for the electricity. So from like like 12 p.m. one day we would get electricity till 6, and then from 6 to 12 yeah, 6 to, at night we wouldn't get electricity, so it was like a switch. So then the next
Got it.
day 12 p.m. we wouldn't get it that day, and then at night we would get it. So it's just kind of like on and off. I would memorize the times and be like, okay, tonight I'm going to get electricity to sleep. So
Mhm.
that moment and in the elevator, it shut, and then we were stuck just like you in between, and the
Mhm.
sliver was so tiny, like, but I'm sitting there holding my ketchup. Like, I don't even, the guy, I like tried to call the guy. And the thing is, they don't take that stuff very seriously because it happens all the time.
Yeah.
So we're two young little kids, freaking out because it's dark and we're in this elevator trap. Like, again, I got the ketchup for the chicken nuggets. Chicken nuggets are going cold. So they had to pull us out from the little crack. And I just had to climb out of there because I'm not
Oh
trying to
my
walk up
God.
7 flights of stairs, but I did it. So after that, I stopped taking the elevator.
Yeah, I mean, I never had like a fear of elevators, but I may now.
For me in the Middle East, it's either like a hit or miss. Like I'm getting stuck for sure, or this is
Mhm.
reliable. But most of the time, I'm kind of sus about all the elevators in the Middle East. I'm like, should I? Let's just do it. Whatever.
Yeah,
You're taking a risk either way. But that's my. I have. We have so many. We could do a whole episode on photography horror stories, though.
I know. I know. We definitely could.
Is there anything else that you can recall that you're just like, oh, I can't believe this happened to me?
I mean, on photo shoots, like I don't know about you, but I always try and prepare, like I said, for the worst. So like I'm always trying to think about like if uh like weather, where we are, like just trying to put it all into perspective because I feel like as a photographer, you're oh, not someone trying to FaceTime me. Um
Mr. Popular.
no, it's a random number.
Oh God, I got those
But I feel like
silenced.
yeah, I really should. Um, but I feel like as a photographer, you almost become like a figure to just be like you're kind of like controlling the scene. And so you just want everything to go as smooth as possible. And some things you just can't control, you know.
Have you ever locked your stuff in a car? Your photography stuff? Or in a room?
I I'm trying to think. I don't think so. But I have been like I don't know, but like when I'm traveling and I have like my gear with me, and we're like maybe like going out to dinner, or we're like going like we're walking around, I will like never leave my gear in the car, like ever. I always like I'll have like a heavy ass backpack and I'm just like I'm bringing this with me. I don't want to risk it. I don't even like we could just be anywhere and I always will just bring it with me.
That's such a good point that you bring up
Yeah.
because you know how many photographers get their gear stolen because they leave it in the car?
Yeah, especially because like within a car, it's just like a glass box, like you could see right in.
It's like, oh,
Um,
that's a new L series lens. Let's grab it. Yeah, real
yeah,
quick.
and if you think about it, like when you're traveling and you have your camera, your lenses, maybe your laptop, like that is thousands and thousands of dollars with like in your backpack. So that's how I think about it. I'm like, this is like 10
Money.
grand on my backpack. I'm going to
You might
be
as well leave a
bringing this
bag of
with me.
money in the car and
Exactly.
be like,
That's how I
rob
think about it.
me. Put a paper on there, be like, rob me.
No, literally, literally.
It's funny you
But
mentioned that because when we go out, me and Brandon, we always take our camera bags everywhere. Even though they're so heavy, we're like dying, but we will not
yeah.
part with our camera bags.
Yeah, you never know like when you're gonna need a particular lens. It's funny because I'll be on shoot and like stick with my 35 millimeter the whole hour like long, but think I need like seven other lenses in my backpack. So I'll just bring everything
So
and then
is that how many
never
you take
actually
with
use
you?
it.
7 lenses.
I'll bring my like my 85, my 50, my 24 to 70, and I just won't touch them.
Wait, really? You take that many on with you on the
A
photo
lot of the
shoots?
time. A lot of the time, yeah.
How that's interesting. I only take one extra lens.
I don't know. Again like I psych myself out. I'm like I will need this. And turns out I don't need it.
You really don't. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's better to have it than to not need it.
Yeah, and then if I don't bring it, I'm like I like regret it the whole time. I'm like this would have looked better with a 50 or something. So I just bring it in like my back suffers, but it's fine, you know.
Do you have
Um
neck problems?
oh yeah. I go to the chiropractor for sure. I feel like every photographer should.
They should have a photographer, a chiropractor, strictly for that. Like, what
Ooh.
lens have you been carrying for that photo shoot? Can you just list off
He's
the
like
lenses?
this
85? Yeah, we're gonna do this one for you today.
he's like your neck looks really bad. You definitely have been shooting with the 105 for sure.
I didn't know you use zoom lenses.
I have one zoom lens. It's the 24 to 70, and I was actually inspired to get it from you because I know that you. I don't know if you currently shoot with it, but I know you always would when we
Yeah.
were on video shoots. But I found myself actually using it for video more because I like the wider look. That's like the 24 is the widest lens I own, so I've been using it for video.
Do you do you have like your go-to camera setup when you're shooting video?
Yeah, I use my same camera body when shooting video. So I use my Nikon Z7 and then the 2470 because it's like autofocus and like
Nice.
eye detection and all that. So
Hold on, give me 1 second. My cat, you guys, is meowing outside my door. I feel so bad. I told Brandon she's gonna do this before we started. Oh, she's literally outside the door. Come here, come
Did she
here.
come in?
Yeah, she came. She came in right away. This is the troublemaker, you
Oh,
guys. Like she will keep meowing. Of course. Oh, I feel bad. How you
oh, she's
feel?
so cute.
You want to say hi, Pipsy? I just love her. She's my child. Okay, so now
Oh,
that she's here, she can do her thing, roam around. Speaking of cats, you've shot with cats before.
I have.
So how are they as models? Would you work with them again?
I've actually noticed that like kittens almost are like a little better because they're so chaotic. I mean, maybe not actually. Maybe now that I'm saying that, I'm like, wait, maybe not. But it's way easier to like distract a kitten. I feel like
Yes.
they're always amused, and whenever shooting animals, you want them to like be just like laser focused on something, and hopefully you can get a shot. So, um, it's definitely not fun. Like, I don't know. Have you ever taken photos of your cat?
She will not. She
She won't.
refuses.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not fun. I don't like enjoy it per se, but I feel like you can get some really cool images with animals.
You just need treat a bunch of treats. That's all
Exactly.
you got to do and just hope for the best.
Exactly.
But the little kittens, you could literally do anything. You can flash. I mean, I don't like to do like the big flashes. I like to keep it pretty simple. I don't really take, well, actually, no, I take a lot of pictures of my cats, but I'll do like film, like Polaroids of them,
Uh-huh.
my cats
Oh,
hanging
those are
out.
cute. Wait, so you just recently got a Polaroid, right?
Yeah, I got a Polaroid. Here, I'll show it to you. It's the I type. So I have like actually, I have like three different Polaroids. No, I don't because it's the Fujifilm. I always get that mixed up. It's not a Polaroid. One is the Fujifilm, and then one is the Polaroid I type, and then one is the Polaroid 600.
Okay.
So let me grab it. Let me show you.
Have
Okay.
you been bringing it like on your actual photo shoots or just like using it as like a like for fun?
I haven't used this for my actual photo shoot yet, but I plan to. I just
Uh-huh.
when I'm shooting, I get so preoccupied with it's so chaotic when I shoot for some reason in my head.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The
It's like,
most
let's do this
chaotic.
and then do this and then, oh, we have to wrap this up and then this person's I think what it is what you described earlier, like being in an environment where you're able to control everything and you know nothing's gonna, like the sun isn't gonna go away or something, like you always have that light
Uh-huh.
and you're not gonna get in trouble, you're not gonna get yelled at. So that's why when I'm shooting outdoors, I just try to be as quick as possible so I don't run into anything like that, I think.
Yeah, I feel like we don't think about like how many things we have to think about. Like there is so many factors that come into play to like have a successful photo shoot. Um, Even for me, like when in my most recent shoots, like capturing like behind the scenes is like a big deal now because it's like people want to actually see like how you captured it. Um, and when I don't have anyone available to like shoot behind the scenes, I'm trying to like do that at the same time. So I'll like set my phone on a tripod or I'll be taking like boomerangs and like not actually be like focused on what we're shooting in the moment. Or even now I've been recently like bringing film cameras on my shoots just to get a different like perspective and also deliver them photos quicker too because I could just like get them developed. Um, so it's just like there's so many things that you have to think about, and it's a lot. Also, getting stuck in elevators, you have to worry about that as well.
Stuck in elevators. No ketchup for the chicken nuggets. I did bring those home, by the way. I got the ketchup. We made it.
Oh,
Overall, it was
amazing to
a
hear.
successful mission, basically. I was also thinking about because I was trying to pick locations for four photographers and really show off the city and everything. But then I started thinking, am I even allowed to film this? Am I going to get a letter in the mail saying, hey, you didn't have permission to film our building or this, take the
Mhm.
video down. So I'm super paranoid for that. So I'm trying to pick places that, like, I want to pick nice places, but it's so hard. Like this one place in Detroit, I emailed them for like a permit. I was like, I'll pay for the permit to like shoot there and film. They want you to have $250,000 worth of insurance that you can prove that you have before you can even get a permit.
Like photography insurance or
Photography, yeah, photography insurance, yeah.
oh my gosh, that's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I it's funny because I feel like with certain clients, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but they'll make you get like a location release if anything in the background is like detectable. Have you ever dealt with that?
No, what is that?
Yeah, it's like I forget the exact terminology for it, but it's like basically like a model release before a location or like a business. So if like you're taking images and there's like a certain like I think it may be like I don't know if it's like landmarks, but it could be like a business or a building that's identifiable. You have to get like a release for it, depending on like
Mm.
the usage for the image. Um, so it's like basically everything's off limits at this point.
Where can you, that's
That's
why we shoot on the street.
yeah. I mean that's why also I've just made my room my studio because at this point it's just the only thing I could trust.
So now I'm just second guessing where can I do a photo shoot and where can I film now? Because you're adding another layer. When you're
Mhm.
doing a photo shoot, okay, you're doing a photo shoot, but when you're filming and you're putting it on YouTube and it's monetized, you can run into some trouble. So that's what's making me super nervous.
Yeah. I think it's also good to just be cautious with these things because um going into it if you're not thinking about all these little things that obviously they stress us out as like creators, but I feel like it's better to be a little stressed out about it and think into it because you could run into so much trouble down the line, which I feel like has happened.
Yeah, for photographers, I'm really trying to get cool locations that represent the city, but at the same time, the last thing I want to do is end up taking the video down or get in legal trouble or have somebody come after me.
Mhm. Especially if after you spend like so much time and effort like trying to put it all together. Like I know with for photographers you put like so much effort into the whole like production behind it, and like obviously a viewer is only watching maybe like 10 to 20 minutes of footage, but when you have like four photographers and a model, and then you also have sound and camera people recording everything, um that's like almost like a full production.
I
It's
know.
not easy.
Like, who am
Yeah.
I to produce any of this? Like, I'm just a regular person. Like, I don't know what I'm doing half the time.
Yeah. um have there been like certain, I know right now you're trying to just get everything together, but are there certain like specifics that you're struggling with?
It really is the locations because I want it to I want to really show off the city because Detroit is really beautiful.
Hmm.
But again, the permits and filming and what you're allowed to have, like there's like if you videotape like in front of somebody's house, they could be like, take that down, we didn't want you to have our house. I don't know, like I just don't want anything like that happening. Or if somebody's in the video that they don't want to be in the video and they want you to take it down, because that definitely has happened to people before.
Hmm.
So we try to be as careful as possible when we film. And I'm having everybody sign a release now, including the photographers, model signing a release, which I think is super important. I'm actually going to make a video all about model releases because that's something
Yeah.
that I really overlooked.
Yeah. I think like I know any creator and photographer going into like the business of it, they started because I mean majority of I'm assuming started because they like creating and they like taking photos, but um there's a whole business side of things and releases that I feel like, I mean, I didn't think about it all when I was starting. I was just like focused on even just shooting not in auto and like actual like learning the settings of a camera. Like that was my I just need to get that down. Um, but now once you're a few years into it, there's tons of other like legalities that you have to think about now. And now the easiest part is actually just taking the photos. Like that comes easy to us. And now all this other junk is getting in the way of us just wanting to create.
Have you ever had a model that you worked with that you did the photo shoot and she told you that she didn't want the pictures up or to delete the pictures that you posted. Have you ever run into that situation?
Yeah, I had a photo shoot where we were creating for a client, and we like agreed to the shoot and stuff. And then we took all the photos. It was a few hour shoot, and when I sent over the release, she didn't want to sign it. Like she just didn't.
What?
Yeah, she just didn't agree with everything, and that's obviously my like I should have sent it like before we even took any of
Yeah.
the photos. Um, so and like you know, I never got paid for the gig because she didn't agree to, uh, have the photos licensed. I still, she was fine with having the photos like on socials, so I was able to post them and still share them, but I never got paid for what it was supposed to be for.
So she
Um,
didn't like the license factor of it.
yeah, and even the company tried to work with her and her team to um, work around like the issues that were within the release. I guess there was um, problems with like usage, and the good thing is you can always like tweak arrangements, but they could still not be down, So
Yeah. Yeah.
um, it's really important, especially like I know for me, I don't generally get releases if we're just testing because I mean the photos are just going to Instagram. But once there's any like client involved, any sort of transaction with money that's on my end, like you really have to get the release. Because also super shady if like I'm selling photos and not telling the model like that's in them that it's being sold. Because images can get licensed so far down the line. Like I've had photos I've taken in like 2017 get licensed in 2020. Um, and you still have to contact the person who is in it and make sure um, they're all good to go. But yeah, it's definitely a tricky situation.
How do you deal with the licensing? Does somebody help you with that, or is it all through you?
Yeah, I definitely don't deal with like coming up with contracts. What's good with clients that I work with is they're definitely more established now. Like companies when I was starting out, when I was working with them, like smaller ones, I don't think they even thought to even give me a release. But now, whenever I'm working with a client, they'll mention it before me. They'll send it along with the contract and just say, anyone who appears in these images, has to sign off as well. So they're luckily looking out for me too. And that's how I've kind of like worked it recently, is just having these clients kind of have my back in terms of like also needing the release. So it's like it just works out.
I mean, they
But it
got
does
those
it
legal teams.
yeah, they have giant legal teams, and it's just like me. So I'm like I need your help.
I hate licensing and dealing with the pricing and the amount, and it's a whole mess. So I'm like, let's pass this off to somebody else who specializes in this and can give me some knowledge that I don't
Yeah,
have.
I know. I think like me as a creator, I was like this in school too, because I studied art in school, and so we would always have different projects to submit. But I always wanted to just do everything myself. I was like, I'm gonna like we had like a thesis project to submit at the end of the year. It was like a 2-year long process, and they like were like work with teams, help each other. Like you can like have like anyone on your team. You could hire juniors, sophomores to like do things for you. And I was like, I'm gonna do this all myself. And like so at the end of the year, like when we watched these projects, um, everyone had credits. It was like this person and this person, this person. And then when mine came up, it was like drawn by Brandon, produced by Brandon. Like I don't know, like I just like to just do everything myself. But I think now I'm obviously starting to realize that things like licensing, contracts, even just like taxes, I can't do that like all myself. Like I started as a creative. I don't want to dive into like doing all of the paperwork that goes with it, you know?
I think it's smart to also have people who specialize in that type of thing take over because they can kind of see things that you don't, and they have a lot of experience on that side of things, like with contracts. Yeah, I'm good at reading contracts, but there's loopholes that maybe a lawyer can see that I can't. So, and I learned this the hard way. I learned this the hard way to always have a lawyer look over a contract before you sign it for any brand, for anybody, anything. Always, I hope anyone who's listening just takes this so seriously. Because actually, there's a YouTuber that I watch. I guess he like lost his channel or something, or somebody took over his channel because he signed a contract when he started that I guess he didn't. I'm not really sure about it, but basically his face was like the brand of the channel. But he started he signed a contract with like a company who helped him with the channel. I'm not really sure about the facts, but in signing that contract, I guess maybe he didn't look at certain things in there that prevented him from basically keeping ownership of the YouTube channel. So I guess, I don't know, he's dealing with that. So that just scares me in itself, the fact that you can lose everything by just not reading a contract and signing something that you're not very knowledgeable in.
And I think that's such a good point. A lot of people, I think, also overlook like exclusivity when they're working with brands.
Yes.
Because I know we work with a lot of like niche brands that have a lot of competitors, especially camera companies, for example.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them out there, and I always just equate like choosing a camera as like a starter Pokemon, because I just feel like once you pick it, you kind of like stick with it, and all of these little Pokemon are like competing with each other. And when you end up maybe down the line working with one, or even just any company that has a competitor, they will always slip into their contract that you cannot work with their competitor. And that can cause problems because another company could reach out to you or want to work with you, um, even just a month later, which has happened to me multiple times when like companies have reached out, but I cannot um, work with them, even if their fee is higher, or something like that. Like you can't do it because your exclusivity is with a different client.
For those who maybe aren't familiar with this, like for the camera brands, the exclusivity clauses is they're not even like two people. They're like a
Oh yeah.
whole list of every brand you can think of. And
Hmm.
then like what Brandon was saying, you miss out on so many opportunities. Let's say that brand has a trip that they want to invite you on, another brand, you can't go. Or if
Hmm.
a new camera came out from another brand, you can't review that camera. You're kind of excluded from all that. So anything you sign with that brand has to be worth it. And I always think to myself, is it going to be worth it in the long run? Are they going to be including me in enough things that's going to, like, it's going to be equal to or more than what I would have gotten had I just been on like a free agent, if you will.
Totally. Yeah. um well, I was just going to say something about that. I'm like, wait,
Being a
it's
free
just so
agent
no.
versus working with a brand.
Yeah. It's just like with me, it's like these terms only last for so long, which is the good part of it. Is like they're not forever. It's like you can never work with this company ever again. It'll only be like from this period to this period.
Oh
You
yeah,
cannot.
yeah, that's good to mention that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
You're
forever, you
forever.
guys.
You're
You're
selling your
forever.
soul.
You could never use this camera brand in your life.
But within that time period, that's still, sometimes it's months, sometimes it's a year, it could be a few years. So I know with my rate, if there are a lot of other clients within, or companies within that exclusivity, I will like boost my rate, because again, that's you missing out on potentially further opportunities. But it does make sense because you're not going to promote one company this month and then another company, like, just it makes
You're the
sense.
ambassador and then you do something else.
It's good to have like those kind of like contractual things to put you in place, but it definitely can mean some missing out on other opportunities.
Is there any kind of deal that you've signed or contract that you've agreed to that you kind of regret looking back now because of a certain thing that you're like, why didn't I even catch that?
Yeah, I think certain contracts, when they don't have like an end term,
Mm.
because I've done like huge projects that literally are a month long, and it's like easy and like it turns out great. But there's been like smaller deals that I've done, and it lasts for almost a year long because we just can't get our, like, all of us on the team cannot like get our shit together. Basically, either they're on their end trying to figure out, like, I need to wait for them to do something on their end, like technical wise, or their legal team, or then it's me like trying to, come up with the content deliverable. And it just goes on and on and on and on. So if there's not like a specific end term to whatever you're working with, and I'm talking specifically with like brands, I know a lot of photographers are, doing other client work with, um, like people, engagements, weddings, but I'm talking about specifically like brand work that I've done, where it's been like an 8 month long, um, like
For
process.
like two
And
pictures.
yeah, it was like the simplest thing. So definitely like Jessica said, be sure you're sending all of those contracts to someone to look over. I obviously at this point have now, been able to review a contract myself, but I still will send it off just, in case. But there's a lot of things, pages and pages long, usually.
Those 10-page contracts kill me every
Yeah.
time they send it. They're like, just take a look and sign anytime. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, yeah, of course. Absolutely. I open the contract. It's like 200 pages, like 9-point font. I have to
And
get like my micro, I got to zoom in real close to see it.
and they want the photos like next week.
They're like, okay, this is due before you even sign anything. They're like, okay, let's do this. Like, can you take me out to dinner first? Like, can we start
You're
small,
like,
please?
I'm gonna need a minute. I'm gonna need a minute.
Can I get a pizza? Can you order me something to my house first?
Yeah, I know, especially brands, like when they reach out to you, they've probably already gone through a whole process of figuring out what they need from you. So they're ready to go. But by the time the contracts gets to you, um, you're not, like, you need to send it off, you need to review it, you need to look at what you're getting into. And they
Yeah.
just made try to be like, okay, send it. And
Hurry
you're like,
up.
hold on.
Let
I'm
me
signing
read
my
20 pages.
I'm signing my life away. Give me a minute.
It's kind of like a relationship. Like they're like, okay, I want to get married. Let's go. Hurry. And then you're like, okay, what's your favorite color? I mean, I just
Literally.
met you. How do you spell your name? Yeah.
The name's spelled wrong in the contract. You're
It's
like, we're
like
not
wrong.
even that we're not even that close.
Jessica Kobiesi. I'm like, okay, okay. Jessica with one S.
I get emails all the time that
Your
are
name's
just
spelled wrong.
not, it's not even my name. It'll be like, hey Henry.
Stop.
And I'm like, what what's going on? Or you can see that it's sent to like hundreds of other
Oh my God.
people.
They like copy paste like the one message and you can see the difference in the text size.
Exactly. I've come to this point where like I know what when I get emails now, I mean I get tons of random things, but I can sort through them just by like the subject line. I'm like, that's not worth my time. Like, I'm not even gonna read it because it's not even my name's like my name's not even correct.
Hi,
So,
Henry. You get those emails with like the emojis in the title. I'm like, not even opening
oh
this.
yeah, yeah.
Like the fire
Or
emoji.
I always get like our co-founder found you, and I'm like, you're just saying, like, you're literally just putting that in the email so I look
They
at
don't
it. I
even
mean,
have a co-founder.
they'll be like, our CEO loves you. I'm like, okay. They're like, I'm like,
hmm
all right.
What's his name? His name's Henry. His name's Henry.
Oh my god.
You want to hear something? One time, a brand sent me an agreement to sign with all like a lot of personal information and stuff, like how much they're gonna pay, how many blah 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 I have to do
The wrong person.
agreements they sent me somebody else's agreement on accident. Like it
That
wasn't
happened to
me. I was
me.
like,
That's also happened to me. I'm not kidding.
you guys gotta double check this stuff before you send it out. You just sent me some random person's
Yeah.
agreement.
They sent me, it was a very similar thing. They sent me a whole agreement, but it was addressed to like a different person. And I was like, yeah, I like it felt really weird being like, that's not me. Like it was really uncomfortable, but things happen, I guess.
I think the biggest thing for me is when people spell my last name wrong when it's in the email. It's like it's just everywhere. Like it's literally everywhere. It's everywhere. Like I actually like I don't I get it. I get it. People have trouble spelling it. It's a kind of confusing last name, but it's
Hmm.
like just a very basic thing to just double check. I've gotten
Yeah.
wedding invitations from people I consider friends spelling my last name wrong. I'm like, what?
Happens so often. It's so rough.
Those emails. What's the craziest email you've gotten?
Oh, that's a good. I wish I knew,
Most
but
common email besides the
most common
CEO
email,
found you.
those for sure. I get a lot of all ones saying like, "We're gonna verify you."
Oh,
Um,
I love those ones. I
yeah.
get them so much on Instagram. It's like the copyright center. Ma'am, we have detected that you
Oh
are
yeah,
doing
yeah,
illegal things and we're gonna block you if you don't get
yeah.
contact us. I'm like, okay, block me. Do it.
I think the most common though would be platforms inviting me to join their like influencer agency thing, and they try and make it really personal, and it's completely not at all. And it's just like I don't want to do that. They're like, oh my god, it'll be like, oh my gosh, we have this campaign for you, um and I'll be like, cool, and then it'll be like, to view it you have to sign up with us.
Yeah, I hate signing up for anything. You have to join their platform and make a username. I'm like, let's
Exactly.
not do
And
that.
it'll sound like really good because they'll even like maybe throw the rate in, and I'm like, ooh, and then they'll be like, but you got to sign up with us, and I'm like, no.
You know what? You get mesmerized by the number. You get
Mm,
mesmerized and you put aside maybe like comment. You're just like, okay, like no, I usually normally wouldn't do this, but let me like sign up and see what this is about and put in my information.
yeah.
And then you never know where it's going to go or what's going to happen.
Even with just like layouts of emails, I'll get like entranced. I'll be like, the layout, like the way they word everything sounds like really good, but you don't like it, just you shouldn't get involved.
It's not the relationship for you. This is really just
Yeah.
sounds like a relationship. Like I don't like
Yeah.
we didn't have a good time.
We sound really picky, but we are. I guess we
I've
have
been
to.
watching too many K dramas. I watched one. I actually finished it yesterday. Dude, it was a roller coaster of emotions. No spoilers, by the way, but I posted it on my story, and I posted on my story that I was affected by the show so much and
I saw that.
yeah, it was driving me crazy. I was like I was actually sad about it. I was like in the middle of watching the show. I was like 12 episodes in and I was just like so depressed about it. I'm like, this is not even, it's not real, Jessica. They're coworkers. Like, you gotta relax. Don't worry. But it affected me on a personal level. And then everybody kept asking what the show was. And I'm like, I cannot tell anybody until I finish the show. I was being like a psychopath. Like my friend over the phone, he's like, "What is the show, Jessica?" I'm like, "I can't tell you right now." He's like, "What? What's going?"
Not even your friend.
I mean, I just didn't want any spoilers of any kind because you know what? That's happened to me before. And my sister, I was talking to her. She's like, "Why won't you?" She watched my story on Instagram. She's like, "Why won't you tell anyone the show? They're all asking you." Blah blah blah. Like
Does your
she got
sister
mad at
know it?
me. Um, I told her about it after the
Okay.
fact. She's like, why won't you tell your followers? If they want to know, you should tell them. I'm like, listen, I'm emotionally invested in this show. I cannot have any spoilers. And she's like, no, they're not going to do that. I'm like, I know, but I just can't. You never know what people are going to let slip. Actually, because it's happened to me before. That's why I have like a nightmare. So I finished watching the show and I'll tell you guys what the show is. It's called Crash Landing on You on Netflix. And that's all I'm going to say. It's a roller coaster of emotions, and I had to actually my friend recommended the show to me. She's in Australia. I was up till 3:30 a.m. watching the ending for the show. I was like, I need to finish it tonight and resume a normal life. So She's like, you want me to watch the last episode with you? Like, tell me who would do that. Tell me who would do that. She got on a voice call with me and we watched it together. Like she had already watched the whole show twice, but she watched the last episode with me again. And then now I made it through. I did
Do you
it.
feel okay now? You feel like you've gotten through
Still
it?
sad, still sad,
Yeah.
but
I feel
it's
like we can't focus, like there's nothing to focus on in our real lives anymore. So like shows have just been like hitting different, like
yes,
you just get
you
so
described
invested.
it.
Just been getting so invested in shows. I don't know. I have to be like, I don't know about you. I have to be like in a mood to start a show because like you just get so into it. That's like the only thing you can focus on. And it's like I got some work to do. I can't be watching like 8 episodes. Even with America's Next Top Model, if I start a season, I will I will finish it like that night.
What?
like
How many?
I
There's like 13 episodes, 14.
I yeah, I will go through it in like 2 days. Like I will just play next, but like just watch it like as I just go about my day.
That's why as artists too, you have to be careful when you start a new show because if you have projects that are due at a certain time, you know you're gonna get hooked.
Yeah. The good thing is though with photos, like I have no issue like having something play and edit along with it, but I can only do that with photos. If I have to write emails, if I have to edit a video, I cannot have like distractions. And if I do, it takes me like 10 times as long to like finish it because I have something just distracting me to the side. Um, but like you know how people say like what do they say like work harder, not what is the saying? Work
Work
smarter,
hard,
not
not
harder.
or work smart, not hard. Yeah, I'm like work harder, not smarter. What? That's not it.
Okay, but with me, it's like I could probably finish something in like an hour, but it'll take me like 5 hours because I'm like watching something, I'm like leaving it to the side, I'm like on a FaceTime, and it's like I do the opposite, I guess. Like I work harder and not smarter. But
What are
I
what are
wish I
some
didn't.
what are some things that you like to watch while you edit besides America's Next Top Model?
Oh yeah, American Next Top Model is a huge one because I just also feel like
We
the
should talk
vibe
about
of
that.
it.
We'll talk about that
Oh,
after, but I
absolutely,
want to know what other
absolutely.
shows.
I always feel like encompassed by like the energy. I'm just like the photo shoots, like I'm just like, yes, like it makes me want to like edit more. But I'm someone who like I definitely, if there's something like on top 10 on Netflix like trending, I will more than likely also enjoy it. So I always find myself just like going to the top 10 and be like, what's trending right now? um I like things, I like thrillers, I like twist endings. I like where like you're going through a show and then at the end you're just like mind blown.
Have
Um
you watched Parasite?
yes,
No
yes,
spoilers, but
yes.
that
Like stuff like that. Like I love that stuff.
I can't watch that again. I will not watch it. Honestly, I need a show. My friend, after I watched Crash Landing on You, she's like, I'm gonna recommend you some more. I'm like, listen, I
You're like, I need
need
a
at
minute.
least I need at least like 2 months of comedy only,
Uh-huh.
and then I'll be back to living in but exactly what you said. Since quarantine, I've just been so invested in the shows as if just that's pretty much my entire life right now, just these people's lives.
Yeah, I think that's what we need though, is like we need to always like, I don't know about you, but like I get, if I'm like hyper focused on something, like life's amazing because like I'm not thinking about anything else. It's just that. And I think within like COVID and quarantine, we don't have anything to like hyper focus on. Um, and if it's work, then it's like, I don't know, like work's a whole other thing. Like you could be hyper focused on work, but like shows and like interactions with friends, like it hits different.
Because we can't we need to start traveling again soon once
I
everything is
know,
safe.
I
I think
know.
that's what we're missing in our life because me and Brandon go to a lot of the expos, especially. Wait, the one that we went to, the portrait expo, that wasn't your first one, was it?
I think it was, that was my, yeah,
What?
yeah. I don't, yeah, I think I've only been to like a handful of expos, but
Would you go to more of
I
them?
oh, for sure. For sure. It's definitely like overwhelming. Like I think there's a lot going on. Like the interactions, just like you also like see someone like every 5 minutes. Um, but it's definitely cool to like check out everything in person, because I feel like we see so much gear and products online, but like we don't actually know what's good until you like can actually like, see it in person and shoot with it.
And they give us the goodie bags.
Oh, the goodie bags, yeah. Actually the
Which is
reason I'm
basically
going.
like, what are they gonna give you? Think they're gonna give us a camera, a whole camera and a lens? No, it's like
Imagine.
they give us like a tote bag. I'm like, actually, I really like the tote bag. I still use the tote, the Nikon tote bag that they gave me. I still
uh
use the Sony bag. I still use.
Oh yeah, so good, so good. Yeah, I knew you would go to a lot. You love the conventions and
I
stuff.
love them. It's just,
Yeah.
it's. I love things that I'm knowledgeable in, like photography. I understand and I can relate to other people who like photography. So it's just nice to be around people who share that interest. That's pretty much my entire life. Because
Uh-huh.
sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes like my family and my friends here, I'm like, do they ever get tired of me talking about photography or YouTube? They probably do.
Oh yeah, probably. I think with around my circle, it's like I only have like one or two friends that are like actually like super interested in photo and do it full time. But it definitely like consumes our life. So it helps to have other people to like talk to like what you're going through and stuff. I think also like with us, like we are so similar in like everything we put out online and like focus on day to day. So it helps so much to like even just chat on here, you know?
Yeah. And it's weird that you mentioned that because I was thinking about that earlier when you mentioned that you during group projects you like to do everything on your own. I was pretty much the same way. But can you recall a time where all started or that was there like a something that kind of triggered that where you're like, okay, I'm going to be self-sufficient and do this by myself?
I think it comes with like actually being into it. Like I think in high school and like others, like I definitely wasn't that way. Maybe I would help out and like do my part, but I wasn't like taking leadership in like a group. But when it comes to like art and something I'm actually like into, um I don't know, like I just like I'm willing to put in the time myself because I'm so involved and like it, to the point where like I don't really want to rely on someone else when I know I could like, do it maybe just as good.
Have you always been like that, like growing up?
I don't know. I think so. I don't know. I maybe.
Because when you really think about it, in your earliest, like at least in my earliest memories, I was very independent and kind of
Mhm,
did things on my own. So that's kind of
mhm.
where that comes from. So I kind of see like I know that you're the same way. So I'm like, is
Yeah.
there like an early childhood memory that you remember where you used to just want to be alone, working by yourself or doing something on
Um
your own?
I mean, even if I was like in like a setting where even like me and my friends were like making videos, um like maybe this relates back to like being a photographer and like being on photo shoots and like taking hold of what's going on, but like I would always we would, I don't know if you do this, but we would always like make music videos to like the trending songs. It would be like a Kesha song or like a like a Britney Spears, like random, I don't know, old songs, and we would make music videos. And I would like go home and spend like 10 hours like splicing it together and like making sure it was like perfect. And I was like, no one touch it.
So you were in charge of that.
Oh yeah, for sure,
Hmm.
for sure. I think, like I said, I think it relates back to like if it's something I'm into, like art, I'm gonna like want to just do it myself.
That's so interesting. I used to do videos
Yeah.
too. I
Yeah,
kind of like twinning like that. That's kind of cool.
oh, for sure. I think I never think about that like time period because I was like, oh, I've just been like into art. Like I always would like draw and paint and like do ceramics in school. But I never thought about like the things I would do like outside school, just like my friends or like by myself that totally relate to like what I do now, like making those like stupid music videos. I mean, they weren't stupid, whatever.
Stupid music.
They if you look at them, they're stupid, but like it's all a part of the process. But I'm so mad because I would also upload them to YouTube. One of them also did kind of good. I think it got like 10,000 views, which was like a lot back
Damn.
then.
Okay. Okay. I'm talking to a celebrity right now. Okay.
But they're gone. I can't find them. And I'm really mad about it
What
because
do you mean? It's on your account?
I had a whole other account dedicated to like these music videos,
You had a
because I would
music video
follow.
account.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I would
Love
like
it.
follow other people that were making these music videos and like befriend them and like get tips and tricks on like how they were like adding a jump cut into their music video. Like I thought it was the best thing to do like the split cut where you were like on this side and this side. So like I would be on this side and like say one of the lyrics, and then I would jump to this side and like say the other lyric, and then it would like be like the cut in the middle. Um, and I was always trying to learn like new like techniques I could use. And so I don't know, like it was so fun. But then people found the channel like from school, and I was like, these are going private, like
Ooh, no one's gonna see this. Did
because I
Kesha's
just
team pull it? Did
oh they
Kesha's
were
team see it and they're
they
like, no, no.
they were for sure under copyright, like for sure.
They're like,
Probably
this
got a
is our
few.
competition. This guy has 10,000 views. Like, we can't have this. He's competing with our girl Kesha.
That was definitely yeah, I probably had a few like copyright strikes on that account, but I'm I would also make a lot of like Nerf videos, like where where it would be like a battle, like a gun battle with like Nerf like guns. I actually have one or two of those. I can send you them. They are so just like interesting, I guess is the word.
I need to see this.
They are very interesting. I don't know if they could ever be revealed out into the world, but like it was a lot. Like I would be in my yard with like my friend and like have my like little Nerf gun and like get like a close up angle and then like a far away angle, and then just it was a lot. So
So, how did you get an Oscar nomination? How did this work? Best Picture?
oh, most definitely, most definitely.
Wait, so were you acting in it or were you directing?
Oh, I was always in them as well.
Oh,
I
so
was
you're an
always in them.
actor.
Yeah, for sure. I
And
would
were
have
you
my friends be
singing?
in them with it.
Were you
Oh,
singing in the music videos?
oh yeah.
You weren't like lip syncing?
Oh no, I was lip singing to it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, with like my friend. But
So you said that the people at your school found out.
yeah, only like a group of them, and then I was like I can't have anyone seeing this. So I took like private of them. They were
Delete.
really they were really interesting. Like I'm not surprised I wanted to take them down.
It's weird because there's a lot of things that we've done in our life that have contributed to where we are now, but they're so small and minute. You
Exactly.
don't even really consider it to be part of the bigger picture. We only look at the bigger things like, oh, I went to art school, or oh, I used to draw comics or something. Just but the smaller
Yeah.
things that you don't even think twice about are probably like the most impactful.
Yeah, that is so true. That is so so true. There's probably things we can't even think about now that we have done that just contributed to.
Can you draw?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I like started at. Like I almost like went to school for like drawing and like fine art because that's what like I
Nice.
I was never interested in photo throughout high school at all. Even like through college, like it took me a few years to get into it. But I was like way I mean, I don't draw as much anymore, which is kind of sad because I feel like if I'm doing photo, it's like that is so much like energy and art to create anyways that I can't. I'm like, not let me just go draw now for fun. Like it doesn't feel like it's not relaxing to me anymore because it feels like within my own photos that I'm drawing because I do use my tablet. So I'm, getting in there and like almost drawing. So yeah, it used to be more of like a hobby, but I don't do it as much anymore. But I would love to do more like I don't know. I would love to start like a big painting or like a big drawing that I'm just working on. I think that would be really fun and like therapeutic almost.
I wish I could draw. I kind of admire that about. I think that's a great talent to have.
Yeah, I mean, I had a drawing class in college where it was like once a week for like 6 hours, and it was like it was such a good class. Like we just sat for 6 hours. We would draw like figures that would come in the class. Um, we would draw like still lifes, like everything, and I would go in like to very fine detail with everything I was doing. Like it was a really good class. I miss like also just having classes to go to and be like, I'm gonna
Same, like being
like
social, like going out
yeah.
somewhere, like, oh, I have to be here in 5 minutes.
Just the fact of being like, I'll have somewhere to be
I
today.
have
Like
somewhere to go.
even just that.
The only
Yeah.
thing
I like, yeah.
wait, sorry,
Oh
what
no,
were you
you're good.
gonna say?
I was gonna say I like fake that day to day. I'll be like, oh, like I have to go to this place, but I'm just really just doing that because I want to do it.
I gotta walk to the laundry room. I gotta do this load of laundry by 5 o'clock.
Such a chore. Yeah.
Such a chore. You know, in having this conversation, I've realized that we're a lot more alike than I thought. It's really nice to hear that we kind of went through similar things, though.
Yeah, I mean, I already thought we were alike in the things we do, but now we're even more because I know that you started with was it Tumblr you said, or was it DeviantArt or something?
Neopets.
That was Neopets, yeah. So it's like I feel like everyone has that one thing they can like trace back to and like why they started to get like into the world of whatever they're into. It doesn't even have to be art, it could be like business or teaching. Like I feel like everyone has something they could relate back to like in their childhood that maybe they um saw that they were like initially interested in it.
So photography for you now, like how has that evolved? Like I know you're doing your YouTube channel and you kind of talked about how drawing was you don't do that as much because it doesn't feel like it's therapeutic or relaxing. Like how is YouTube for you now? Is that just a hobby? Are you trying to do it full time?
Yeah, I mean, YouTube for me definitely isn't as consistent as I would like it to be. Um, but I am trying to upload just like when I can. I'm not really, it's definitely not my focus right now. I would say my focus is working with brands and clients, um, and delivering like photos for them. And then of course trying to like upkeep what is social media. I'm not as frequent as I used to be like on socials. Like I would post every single night, and now
I know you used to
it's
have like a
become more of,
designated time.
yeah, it became more of like a weekly thing, I would say. And it's definitely, it feels good though because I've been posting photos that I'm proud of and trying to focus like in on just like one singular photo rather than like seven in a week that are just like subpar. um but there's just so many different forms of social media now that it's like hard to pick one and like focus on it. So I just try and like dip my feet into like everything, and if I can get a YouTube video up that week or month, then I can.
It's TikTok. I know what you're talking about. It's TikTok. That's
Like I
killing
know you're
me.
talking
Everyone's
about
like, you
TikTok.
should go on TikTok. I'm like, I don't even have time to edit YouTube videos.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
It's a struggle. We're struggling. We're trying to make it work. We're trying to spread ourselves thin across so many different platforms, but definitely TikTok, I would say, is where it's at right now.
Yeah, but also it's like TikTok is so hit or miss for uploading. Like, with YouTube, I feel like you're gonna edit a video and you may know it's gonna do well. So you're willing to spend the time and effort to film and edit it. But with TikTok, it's such hit or miss. So I also don't want to like put all my eggs into like, TikTok and then it just like doesn't go anywhere. So, just like touching all the bases. I think like I don't know. That's what I'm gonna be doing for the time being.
I tried on TikTok and then it's been months since I last posted. I know probably everybody actually who's even checking my TikTok? What am I talking about?
Uh, I wish I was better at like repurposing content. I know
Yes.
that other someone actually reached out to like help me like how like retrace a YouTube video and like put it into like vertical forms, which like would be super helpful. But even just like once you create one thing, like that can go to like all forms of socials because you never know like who's gonna miss it on like the first one. Like someone may miss out on your YouTube video, but they're gonna see that same video on like Instagram and like you put in the time and effort to make it, might as well just like blast it everywhere.
Is there one thing that you've found to be that works, that's super, super popular? You post it and it does well?
I think definitely like behind the scenes and before and afters have been like a big thing for me, and like just my overall like brand is sharing all of that, and just now I want to start sharing like how I got to that point in the photo. Like I just recently uploaded like an editing tutorial on YouTube, and that was like the first ever like kind of behind the scenes I shared on that channel. um but I think I want to do more of that because it's like seeing the response and like seeing people actually want to see that, I'm like, I just make more of this. I don't know why I'm like holding back so much.
I know. I love the editing videos that you make. And I know that people really enjoyed it because it was probably like your first one on YouTube, but I have seen the one on your Skillshare class, which was
Mhm.
really awesome. It showed like your whole process from the beginning to end, which by the way, shout out to shout out to Skillshare. I use the bio for Brandon from the
We had to do
Skillshare.
it. We
I
had to do
texted
it.
Brandon, I'm like, do you have a bio? He's like, not really sure. So I just went and I saw it because we both, you know what, we both have classes on Skillshare. So I was like, it's okay, I'll just borrow this for a little.
Yeah.
We repurposed the bio a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
shout out to Skillshare. Our classes will be linked down below if you guys want to
Yeah.
check them out.
Yeah. I think that was a great way to like dive into the world of like letting people see into my process a little bit more, because I've always showed the behind the scenes and like how I get to the like raw photos. Like I have no problem sharing lighting, like tips like that, but I've always been a little like, you know, a little weird with sharing like how I edit. But I don't like, I just want to share it now. I don't know, like I've just come to a point where I'm just like, here you go, here you go. So
I understand. Like, I understand to be protective over the technique that you've developed over the years that's unique to you.
mhm.
So I get
Yeah.
that.
I think also it's because maybe when I was starting out, I was seeing so many people like recreate, I guess, my photos and do tutorials of my stuff, like how to edit like me or how to create a preset like me. So it felt weird like stepping forward and be like, this is how I actually do it, because I feel like people were trying to like guess this whole time.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. But like again, I've just come to a point where I'm like, I want to get more into editing because that's like, you know, what people want to see.
I mean, I love the fact that you're sharing more and you're going on this new path where you're opening up and sharing more of your experiences and your editing. I think it's important as a photographer.
Yeah, I mean, I was literally just watching yours this morning, your recent editing video, and I love the like just the 25-minute like just chill
What?
like editing.
Thank
Like I
you.
love the really long like, because then I can like edit along with it. So
Are you serious? Stop. Really?
no,
Thank
yeah,
you.
I think what I need to do more of is like create like what I'm consuming, because I love watching like long editing tutorials that are like chatty and chill and like not too technical.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
thank that makes me feel so much better because when I'm creating them, I'm like, I don't even think anyone's really gonna watch this because it is a pretty long video. I personally love
Uh,
long videos. I'll watch them because I'm editing and I love hearing,
Me too.
But I feel like sometimes I'm like, is anyone gonna watch this if it's not photography related?
Yeah, I think it's we may have like dug ourselves a hole within photography because it's like
Yeah.
all people want to see.
Yeah. Like,
But
why are
I
you
mean,
talking about your life? Nobody cares,
yeah, exactly, exactly. But um we're also real people, you know, we're not just like a robot that presses a button. So I think it's nice to like break a barrier and show what you're editing and like techniques, but also just like chat and like hopefully people can like edit along like with us while we share our techniques and workflow and stuff.
I'm gonna do more of them. Thank you.
Yes. Oh my God. Imagine we did like one together, like in real life, where we sat
Ooh,
down and just both like edited the same photo, like just chatted like while we edited.
I would
That
love
would be fun.
to. We
That would
should,
be so
you know
fun.
what? Yeah, I wanted to do reaction videos with people too, because another model reached out to me saying that she wanted to do one with me, and I was like, I would love to, but right now is obviously like not the best time. But I definitely want to set it up where we
For sure.
do. I want to do. There's a lot of stuff that I want to do. Um, and one last question to you:
Yeah.
Is there anything that you want people to know about you? With anything?
That's a loaded question. No, I think back to maybe like what I was just mentioning about like people only thinking or like relating us back to like photo. I feel like it's definitely like a huge part of like our lives. But it's like not, it's like I think when people think about, I'm like looping you into this now.
Sure, yeah.
But when people like think about us like on the internet, they just immediately may associate us with like photography, tutorials, camera stuff. But I feel like, we're like deeper than that. We have like other layers, and um we may not completely share it, and that's probably why people only like relate that to us. But there's some stuff like that we do other than unphoto stuff. I'm not sure what it is because it's a lot of my time is spent doing this, but we have some other layers for sure. And we're real people.
We're
So
not just I know. I agree. Sometimes it's hard to separate yourself from what you literally do every single day. It's your life, it's your career. It's it's all that you think about.
yeah,
It's like that's all people think of you as, just a photographer, but I don't know. I feel like that sometimes overshadows who you are as an actual person. And
totally.
sometimes people, I fear, don't want to get to know me as a person and just want to get to know me as the photographer, which is fine. But sometimes it would be nice if people asked me, "Hey, what are your favorite shows?" or "Hey, how are you doing today?" or something other than "What camera do you recommend?" or
Exactly. Exactly.
sometimes I just
Oh my, that like makes me sad. I'm like, oh my
I don't
God.
know. I'm in my feelings. I'm literally in my feelings today. I don't know. It's the show that makes me like so emotional.
No, but that's so true. I totally feel like where you're getting at. And I think also like when people may look up to um like not only like YouTubers, but also just like someone they may look up to, like what they want to do, and just see them like, they may be thriving, but like I feel like we all deal with stuff, like we're going through it. So no one is ever like just chilling, like everyone's going through it. So even if you're looking up to someone that has it all, like, they probably don't. So
Absolutely. And we've worked with people who seem like they have it all, these huge influencers, and it's not what you think it is. So I think we see that
yeah,
firsthand working with people and seeing the reality of the situation. Like like Instagram versus reality. That's I mean that in itself, just don't believe everything that you see, I guess. There's more to people than what they post on social media.
yeah,
And that
exactly.
goes for us too.
Yeah.
So just ask us what our favorite cereal is from
Ask
time
us
to
how we're
time.
doing. Just
Because,
kidding.
and by the way, I just want to, yeah, I totally don't mind if people come up to me and are like, "Oh, what camera do you recommend? Like, what's your favorite lens?" I love talking about photography stuff. Absolutely love it. Love going to the conventions. It's just sometimes it's nice for people to see me past that, I think,
Exactly.
and it being genuine. It's a
Mhm.
genuine interest. So I say if you're interested in just photography uh, regarding somebody that you look up to, that's great. Just be genuine in your interactions with people, I think.
Totally. That's a great way to end it off. Oh my gosh.
Right?
Yeah.
So this show is messing me up, I swear.
Not us like crying at the end of this.
So today, no. Oh man. So we
We
would love
laughed,
to
we
think
cried,
we did. We literally did. We did everything.
we got stuck in an elevator.
We both got stuck in an elevator. One person for photography, one person for chicken nuggets. Vote which would you rather get stuck for? Chicken nuggets or photography? Leave your thoughts in the
That's a
comments.
hard one.
Honestly, it is. I'd be thinking about that.
Yeah, I'd be thinking,
Like, which do you value more?
hmm,
Hmm.
tough question.
Let us know. And of course, we would love to thank my friend and photographer, Brandon. Brandon, what's your favorite cereal?
Um, let's go with Cheerios. That's boring, but
Cheerios.
maybe I'm boring. No, just kidding. Cheers, let's do it. And oat milk.
Love that. Do you put like a whole bowl of sugar in there?
Oh, always fruit.
Oh, okay, that's great. That sounds
Yeah,
good, actually.
yeah. You have to have something in there to like spice it up.
Look at me being unhealthy. I'm like, did you put a lot of sugar?
I'm like nature sugar.
Nature sugar. So anyways, we would love to thank Brandon for joining me today. And we will see you guys. Wait, you were about to say thank you.
I was gonna say
I'm
thank you for
sorry.
having me on. Thank you so much for having me on. This was so fun.
Seriously, I love you. Thanks for always joining me. It's really fun to do these.
Absolutely.
I don't know what else. Let me redo the ending. I feel like I
Okay, okay.
flopped it. So we're nearing the end. We found out Brandon's favorite cereal is Cheerios with
That
nature
makes me
sugar.
sound that makes me sound so boring. I just can't think
You're
of
the one
anything
who
else right
said
now.
it.
I don't really eat cereal. I'm more of like a yogurt, like croissant and granola,
Ooh,
eggs.
okay.
Like, yeah, like I don't really eat cereal.
Like continental breakfast kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, we'll go with that. That's a
Okay,
better
that's
answer.
good. Okay, continental breakfast cereal person.
We're having a really hard time ending this off. We just
We
don't want to go. We never want to leave.
All right, guys. So we would love to thank Brandon for joining me yet again. I'm going to have his Skillshare class linked below also. And you guys can check out his Instagram, his portfolio. We're going to have all that. And thanks, Brandon, for joining me.
Thank you for having me on. We laughed. We literally almost cried. So it was a good time.
So with that being said, we'll see you guys in the next episode of Low Res with Jess. Bye, guys.
See you later.